Picture a rugged, untamed world where a single misstep, a broken bone, a festering gash, or a grueling childbirth could mean the end. Yet against all odds, humanity not only endured but flourished. Long before the gleaming tools of modern medicine, hospitals, syringes, or antibiotics, our prehistoric ancestors battled a brutal existence, armed with little more than ingenuity, nature's bounty, and the strength of community. Welcome to the enthralling saga of healthcare in prehistory, a sweeping journey through crude yet brilliant techniques, profound compassion, and the astonishing roots of healing that stretch back millions of years. From self-medication to daring surgeries, this is the story of how our forebears defied a harsh world to survive and thrive. The Stone Age, a vast epoch from the crafting of the first stone tools 3.3 million years ago to the dawn of bronze around 3,200 years ago, unveils a treasure trove of evidence about ancient healthcare. But the tale begins even earlier, woven into the fabric of life itself. Healing isn't a human creation. Animals, too, practice primal forms of care. Monkeys munch on bitter leaves to purge parasites, while elephants seek clay to soothe upset stomachs. Some birds roll in soil to fend off pests, a natural defense against irritation. But let's sharpen our focus. True healthcare demands intent, planned, organized efforts to mend an individual or group, transcending raw instinct. Consider chimpanzees, our closest kin, in Gabon's Luango National Park. Here, scientists beheld a mesmerizing ritual. Chimps snared insects, crushed them between their lips, and smeared the paste onto open wounds. In one heart-tugging moment, a mother tenderly applied this remedy to her son's gash. 19 such cases unfolded, each a meticulous dance. Catch, crush, rub, remove, repeat. The insect's identity eludes us, but might they harbor antiseptic or anti-inflammatory magic? As early as 14,400 BC, modern humans mirrored this, daubing bugs on wounds. Placebo or potency, these chimps unveil medicine's ancient pulse. If their modest brains grasped this, imagine what our sharper ancestors, Homo erectus, Neanderthals, and beyond, conjured in the wilds of prehistory. Our first human clue flickers from a 1.77 million-year-old site in Georgia, home to Homo erectus georgicus, rugged, archaic, yet extraordinary. A well-preserved skull of a man over 40, ancient for his time, paints a vivid portrait. All but one tooth, the left canine, had fallen out, the sockets reabsorbed, signaling years of toothlessness before death. Raw meat or tough roots were beyond him. He survived on soft bone marrow, brain matter, or pre-chewed plants and flesh. At his age, with a body likely worn by time, gathering and processing food solo was a daunting feat. His survival shouts a truth. Others sustained him. Day after day, his kin fed him, perhaps mashed his meals, a stirring act of elderly care. In a world of relentless injuries, disease, and predators, few hominins saw 40. This man's life, cradled by community, lights the spark of healthcare in our lineage, a testament to compassion's deep roots.
Step forward to the Neanderthals, a species whose healing prowess forged their legacy. Since 1856, when Feldhofer I emerged from Germany's soil, we've marveled at their scars. This Neanderthal bore a litany of wounds: a shattered left arm, a healed gash on the frontal bone, metastatic disease, and inflamed sinuses. Yet he lived, nursed through agony. Studies now reveal 79 to 94% of Neanderthal remains show healed major trauma, with 37 to 52% surviving grave injuries. What battered them so? Fights among their own, tumbling rocks, cliff falls, and the perilous hunt, chasing mammoths, bison, or warding off wolves and bears, left them broken but unbowed. Their bones dazzle with resilience. High recovery rates and rare infections hint at masterful wound care. Gaping rib wounds, bleeding profusely likely called for coverings, perhaps lemming skins, as Inuit later used, or red ochre, a tribal antiseptic smeared to staunch and shield. Fractures, healed straight and strong, suggested splints of wood or bone steadied limbs. Dental calculus, the tartar cresting their teeth, unlocks more. Yarrow and chamomile, bitter anti-inflammatory herbs, fueled no hunger but soothed pain. One soul plagued by a tooth abscess and parasites chewed poplar, a natural aspirin, and penicillium, the mold birthing penicillin. Did they sense these powers? Perhaps not, but their grasp of berries, blooms, and fungi rivaled today's hunter-gatherers, a pharmacy plucked from the wild. Childbirth, too, demanded care. A Neanderthal baby's broad head and a mother's narrow pelvis turned delivery into a deadly dance. Midwives, likely women of the clan, eased the way, a primal obstetrics saving lives. Aging Neanderthals leaned on this bond too. Shanidar I, a man in his 40s from Iraq, was a walking miracle. Partially blind, crippled, one arm withered, perhaps amputated, the earliest whisper of such a feat. A brutal blow paralyzed his right side. Cliff fall, hunt gone awry, or a clash with a rival. Yet he endured for years, fed, sheltered, and cherished. His worth wasn't in hunting, but in tales of old chases, crafting tricks, or jests from his father's day. Another, LC1 from France's La Chapelle Science, over 40, toothless and racked by vertebral osteoarthritis, lay prone much of his life. Fed softened food. He survived by care, maybe buried with purpose. A poignant nod to Neanderthal heart and healing skill. Our species, Homo sapiens, wove a rich tapestry of care. Geophagy, eating earth, clay, or termite mounds, spanned over 100 primate species and countless tribes. Pregnant women and children savored it, perhaps to guard guts from toxins, flush parasites, or glean magnesium and iron for growing babes. Dangers loomed. Parasite eggs, feces, lead. But its spread hints at an evolutionary edge. Clays near ancient bones suggest our genus, and beyond, savored this odd feast.
Broken bones haunted us too. Hunter-gatherers, nimble and tough, mended fractures well, likely with splints of wood or vine. In Australia, mud casts encased limbs, a trick echoed across prehistory. Then came trepanation, the boldest surgery, from the Mesolithic to the Neolithic, where 5 to 10% of skulls bear drilled or cut holes. A blow to the head might shatter bone or pool blood. A hole relieved pressure, saved lives. Later, tribes bored skulls for migraines, seizures, or to banish spirits. Stone blades carved circles or rectangles, a grueling ordeal sans painkillers. Survivors wore bone scraps as charms, your own skull dangling at your neck. Dentistry bloomed 13,000 years ago as grain diets bred cavities. Tiny drills honed for beads bored molars. Beeswax plugged holes. The pain? Beyond imagining. Fire, too, healed. Beyond cooking, flames sterilized stone tools, warmed fevered bodies, or steamed herbs for breath or skin. Rituals, chants, dances, drums eased minds, rallied kin, and stoked hope, a primal therapy. Tools of stone, bone, and wood, knives, needles, or tubes, cut, sewed, or delivered cures. Who wielded this wisdom? Clues from tribes point to women, wise in plants, sewing wounds with bone needles, nurturing as mothers do. Shamans, witch doctors, and medicine men blended herbs, crude cuts, and spells, healing body and soul. Some mastered remedies, others leaned on belief, the placebo's quiet power. In a world of raw faith, these guardians, part doctor, part mystic, were vital. From chimps daubing insects to Neanderthals splinting bones and sapiens drilling skulls, prehistoric healthcare was raw, daring, divine. With scant tools, they harnessed plants, earth, fire, and love to defy a ruthless world. Burials, perhaps reverent, tied care to spirit. These acts fueled our genus's triumph, echoing in tribal ways today. This epic of grit and genius reveals humanity's core, resilience, invention, and an unyielding will to heal. What wild cures spark your wonder? Share and let this saga live on.